Hello and welcome to the home of the Ghost Owl. We're looking at Warhammer the Old World and we're on to part 3 of the special category for the Dwarven Mountain Holds faction focus. So this is the last part of the special category, so let's have a look. We know now that we're on to artillery units, a staple of any dwarf army. So first up is the Bolt Thrower. Good toughness and leadership, low movement and initiative. It is a war machine that does come on a 50 by 50 mil base and a 25 mil by 25 mil base for the crew, unit size of 1. So it is a bolt thrower, hand weapons and light armor is the equipment, and it can take up to 100 points of engineering runes. So special rules. Hatred, orcs and goblins, magic resistance of 1, skirmishers, and stubborn. So first break test, the unit will automatically fall back in good order instead. So overall, it's my least favourite of all the dwarf war machines. And while nearly 50% cheaper than the next cheapest war machine, I generally would prefer to take the Grudge Thrower if I have the points and or cannons for the role I want it to do. You know, the cannon has a strength of 8 versus 6, is more reliable for the targets that I'm looking for the war machines to deal with, which is generally monsters and other tough units, as well with the multiple wounds D3 versus multiple wounds 2. So, and the indirect fire of the Grudge Thrower fulfills, that slightly different role as well. So, but the Bolt Thrower is not a bad weapon, especially if struggling on points. And actually a lot of its weaknesses can be made up with the engineering rune, which is the rune of skewering. This is bolt thrower only. It gives you +1 strength, so you're now up to strength 7, so that's getting closer to that sort of strength 8 of the cannon, and no armor saves allowed. So you can still take regeneration and ward, but no armor save. So and with the through and through, which is basically piercing the ranks, it's not bad. It's still the cheapest war machine, even with the rune of skewering. So if you're struggling on points and you want a bit of range war machine, the bolt thrower, it's a solid option. It's just if you've got the points, I think the other war machines are fulfilling the roles of taking out the targets that you're looking for with those, or fulfilling long range roles, and with that indirect fire piece as well. So reasonable choice. The points really give it the value. Okay, next up is the Grudge Thrower. So this is standard war machine, slightly bigger base size than the Bolt Thrower at a 50 by 75 mil. Equipment wise, it is a stone thrower, hand weapons, light armor, and it can take again 100 points of engineering runes. So, special rules, same as the other war machine in terms of the bolt thrower. So, I often like to take a Grudge Thrower paired with a cannon. The trick is finding the points, because the special category is pretty chock full with stuff. By the time you've bought hammers and iron breakers, gyrocopters, you're running out of points pretty quickly in the category. So it depends on what you're going after, but the Grudge Thrower is nice. Indirect fire option coupled with a template gives it a pretty distinct role in the roster, and range 60 is the longest range of all the dwarf war machines, so you can really reach out and touch people, particularly enemy war machines as well. As a template weapon, however, the high strength AP and multiple wounds cannot be relied upon, because that's just the center hole of the template, and the main target you're looking at is large units who can still be hit even with the scatter. So relying on this as a weapon to take out large monsters is not really what it's for. You can have a go, but in reality, you're really going after those larger units to get the most models core as possible. Should be noted against infantry on 25 mil bases that are in 4 ranks. A direct hit can hit up to 16 models. 4 of them would be automatic. The rest would be hit on the dice roll. So. But a pretty sizable amount of models that can be under that template if you get lucky. Engineering runes in this one, again, because I like to keep things cheap. Rune of reloading. I think this is nice. It's really cheap, but it means you can shoot every turn, even if you misfire and malfunction the previous turn. So that ability to keep shooting every single turn, I think that's really important, rather than having to miss a turn with your war machine, because you're going to miss some shots. So The more shots you can take, the more damage you're going to do, and then you're going to make its points back. So, I think Rune of Reloading is a really good shout for this weapon. Next up, the staple and the first of the black powder artillery weapons for the Dwarfs, the cannon. So, War Machine again back to a 50 by 50 mil base. War Machine crew the same. Equipment, it is a cannon, and they have hand weapons and light armor, and it can take 100 points of engineering runes. So special rules, the same as all the other War Machines. In reality, the cannon, so this is my favourite of the basic War Machines because of what I want it to do. So while it is the most expensive of the three, it's only a smidge more expensive than a Grudge Thrower. It does fill a key role within the Dwarf army. It offers that high strength, multiple wound damage, which makes it excellent against monsters, behemoths, monstrous infantry, cavalry, but it does have the flexibility to damage everything, because of the way that cannons work and cannonball bounce and so on. And also, in a pinch, you can use Grape Shot, a sort of short-range multiple shot thing that, is a nice addition if you're being threatened by fast cavalry or some other skirmishers. Or if your army's retreated a lot and it's been brought into range, that Grape Shot's a nice addition to either keep them at War Machine safe or to kind of change targets a little bit into that sort of infantry killing role. Engineering runes, I actually quite like the Rune of Forging on this one. Again, quite cheap. It's a single use, and you can use it once, but you can re-roll a single misfire on an artillery dice. Which is really nice. So that's giving you that sort of added durability by not an efficiency by at least not suffering one misfire. If you're suffering 2 or 3 misfires in a game, you've been damn unlucky, given how many turns are and how many times you get to shoot. So that single use can really help you out in a pinch, particularly if you really need to get that shot off. So there you go. That brings us to the end of the special category. The War Machines there, pretty straightforward in terms of what they do, the roles they fulfill. Like I say, they all do have a slightly different role. I like the Grudge Thrower and Cannon, but the Bolt Thrower, not to be forgotten. It is cheap, and that Rune of Skewering can really help it as well. Hope you found this video useful. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. Let me know why in the comments down below. And as always, if you want to see more content, then please hit that subscribe button. If you want to see more factions done as faction focus, it's really, really important for me for you to hit that subscribe button. So thank you for that in advance. And thank you to all those that have already subscribed. You've been watching The Ghost Hour as we move to the final category in the army list, but not the final part of our faction focus, which is the rare category, looking at those rare Dwarven units.